Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into Universe of Chinese. Let's continue our September streak of 2 character phrases a day. There are a ton of Chinese phrases because for the most part, the basic units of words in Chinese are mostly 2 characters because single character is multi-dimensional, multi-meaning, multi-directional. It's hard to decide what exactly the meaning it is. And it's kind of tiresome to always try to decide based on the context, right? It's too much work, too much burden on the listener, the recipient of the message. So Chinese use this mechanism of using 2 Chinese characters, and each one is multidimensional. And when the 2 of them meet together, it's kind of a lock-in of one particular meaning that makes sense of the 2 of them together combined into this expression. Okay, so now you see 贪换. Both of them share this bed frame image. And both of them actually mean paralysis. Okay, so Chinese have to say paralysis in 2 different ways, and to combine to make sure it actually means paralysis that we're talking about. It means paralysis. I mean, isn't that English as well? When we say something, twice, at least in recent contemporary English expression, when we use it twice, well, I don't have an example coming to my mind, please. Okay, there are a lot of occasions of English have 2 exactly same characters. That means I mean it. It's not sarcasm or referring actually to something else. It means it's original, literal, like a dictionary first entry kind of meaning. So English do that, Chinese as well, I guess, to make sure it means paralysis, physically, non-movable body condition. 2 paralysis are used here. Okay, so bed frame, we talked a little bit yesterday. It's verticalized bed frame. So bed frame is this big board, long board, with the foot or the legs of the bed. In a 3D physical world, the legs, at least 4 of them, right? So 1 on each corner. But in the 2D world, Chinese have to abstract it, and there's no sense to draw all 4 out, right? So the solution is draw just side view, 2 of them. And you would imagine, because this is 3D world that it's depicting, so it got to have a depth in there, therefore another set of food. Maybe 2 sets even, 6 feet, who knows, right? So these are the legs of the bed. And this is the, I don't know, this long stand, try to stabilize it, I guess. That's the mechanism, or whoever is the bed frame designer back then came up with. And that used to represent bed. And this, I would like to imagine it to be headboard. So I guess headboard was the universal thing. That when you design a bed, it got to, I mean, at least majority of the bed have the headboard. It's not only for the decoration, but also for protection, right? It's important to protect your skull, even if when you're in sleep, especially when you're asleep and vulnerable. Okay, so this bed frame in Chinese culture was assigned the meaning as being sick. The reason why is because it's agrarian society. Back then, everybody is expected to work out in the field on farm work every day. So 350 days, probably besides holidays, people are off the field or during winter time. As long as it's the season of the plant growing, from the planting to all the way harvesting, or even in between preparing the soil, they like year round, every day, dedication to care for that field is expected. I mean, aren't we talking about this? Being thankful that we're living in 21st century when the food was not the highest pressure of of the survival of human society anymore. It's taken care of industrially. But back then, manual labor, and therefore whoever spent time in bed is then deduced as a behavior index, I guess, index of behavior of being off the field, therefore not being able to work in the farm field. Therefore, it must be sick, most likely situation. Unless you're being sick, you're not excused from working under the sun all day long. Oh gosh, imagine that. Okay, so bed frame, therefore, is tied with being sick. And then Chinese switch in all kinds of symbols underneath that bed frame to give the detailed flavor of what exactly the kind of sickness. So in this case, the first paralysis, there's a bird in it, and there is a kind of like a food container of it, and this symbol, hyperbola shape, with the middle vertical line probably means hand holding something. So that looks like a bird container. Once you capture the bird, you put it in there. Or it could be a food processor, a cookware. Once you kill the bird, cook the bird, and that's food processing. In any case, it's a sort of a container, right? With or without a fire under it. But the bird is in there, because bird supposedly was the most difficult to capture. For animal capturing, the hunter-gatherer societies, they run down the animal, exhaust the animal, right? So you're at least on the same plane. Like we are both on, because of the gravity, we're all stick to the ground. Just whoever can run down, then whoever is the winner. That's the prey and the predator game on this surface of the globe. But bird has the superpower of flying into the sky. That's a different dimension that the humans cannot get to, right? So before the invention of a gun, I would imagine it's super difficult to catch a bird. Therefore, bird capturing or bird cooking, food processing, became a symbol, means difficult. And in this case, when it's associated with being sick, is the type of difficulty of hard to move your body. And I would imagine because birds are super mobile, so in comparison, humans are not so mobile because they have the third dimension to go. Therefore, this difficult, more tied with difficult to move, difficult to keep up. So it's difficult to move your body, therefore it's paralysis. Okay, the right one, I have to imagine it a little bit because I know each single icons, these are 3 icons stacked up. The top one looks like this, is a human figure. And the middle one, kind of a dome with 2 like carved out. It means a cave with some, I guess, air channels going through. So it's not, stifle closed in space. It does have air going through, but it's sheltered. It's not exposed to nature. It's underground. And then the bottom are left and right hand, 2 hands. When you see 2 hands showing almost like from the bottom of screen, right? So it's first person perspective looks like this. You have 2 hands reaching out. When we see that expression, oftentimes it's probably tied with sacrifice, or you're holding something in a, use both hands. That shows respect to whatever you're holding. And I would imagine here, this expression, human on top of a cave, and 2 hands holding. I have to imagine the scenarios of what's happening over there. It could be almost like a outdoor concert, somebody standing on high ground on top of a cave, kind of performing, and people are kind of waving their hand. That's the happy version. Okay, that's a happy version of, it's like outdoor concert, ancient time. However, format they will be. It's a gathering of people. It's a ton of people. And why paralysis? Because it's scattered. People are not organized. It's just like a fun party, right? So imagine Woodstock. Okay, so that's the kind of environment it's depicting. So it's like people are stoned or whatever in that environment, like super fun party-ish. Okay, that's the happy version. The sad, cruel version, probably more like closer to the reality of history, is type of human sacrifice. So that human figure on top of the cave is like a high up on elevation for the whole tribe to see, and that person got paralysis, immobile somehow, so that that person can be sacrificed to God. And this two hand from the bottom of the frame, almost like a sacrificing hand to, respectively, holding the human sacrifice to God in pray for, save the whole tribe, sacrifice individuals from that tribe. So that's a cruel, bloody version. In that frame, that means the person on top of this big cave image is the one being paralyzed, okay, immobile, so that it's being sacrificed. It's like a semi-dead kind of image. Whatever vision you want to subscribe to, happy version, party scene, or human sacrifice, bloody scene, both are possible. There may be, I hope we can discover a third explanation to this. But nowadays, when we know this character, the whole thing means paralysis, we can only imagine like a backwards, like why the three icons put up together to create the meaning of immobile, being paralyzed. Okay, so paralysis means paralysis. Cute doggy probably is not paralyzed, but it looks like vulnerable, hidden underneath the blanket, have that, immobile sense of feeling, and it's cute. That's why it's put in here, because paralysis probably is a reality nobody wants to see. Nobody, but it's part of life. It's in our language, therefore it's in our life. And however people get there, there are such conditions in life. So, we talked about the 体面 decency a few episodes ago. So I guess whatever condition we are in, we at least have to, keep that decency and in face of life, right? Okay, anyways, that's none of the business of this channel. We're just talking about paralysis in Chinese. That means paralysis. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.